And we're live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. We're live. Welcome back to my Instagram Live, y'all. Let's give people a moment to come on in. Let's try Instagram again. I never, ever come live here on Instagram, but I said, why not? Why not today? Why not today? Come on in, guys. Share the live. Petty, what's going on, Petty? Oh, hold on. That's going to join me. Dun, 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 dun. Come on in, everyone. Let me know where you are watching from. Okay, y'all? Oh.
Whoa, I got my boots on the ground.
Literally. What's going on, Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast?
Hi, boo. Oh, wait, I said you were more than a boo, didn't I, earlier?
You did. She was flirting with me, y'all, in text.
You
I'm
know
going to tell
what?
Corey. Corey,
I
you
did
see?
say I'm gonna be the lavender wife. I'm getting that 401k and everything. No, I'll take good care. I'll take good care of our properties. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
She basically is admitting online, y'all. She getting with me for the money
No.
and the property.
No. I'm joking, boo. I would just want it to go to somebody who would do you right.
Sure.
I would continue on the, are you okay?
Legacy.
Yes.
Gotta continue with the legacy.
You look good using that
Thank you.
butter.
And we had a big old Cyber Monday sale yesterday with butter.
Mm-hmm.
I was so tired yesterday. I recapped RHOP, which we were going to talk about. I recapped Married to Medicine. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't to watch afterwards. I've seen clips though, and one clip I particularly do not like, I can discuss because I was heated.
Is it with Dr. Jackie?
Absolutely. She's been the same since season 1. This is not new. And we talk about body shaming. She used to speak on Heavenly's body, Toya's body, and the nerve of you. If that woman had a clap back and went underneath the ground on her, then she would have been crying.
Brandy is speaking out. I'll play the clip so that you guys can hear it. Jen Shaw is about to get out on December 10th.
And go right to Utah and not on any type of cast, at least not on.
Andy Cohen is confirming. We're going to play that. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it, but we'll play it. But you had the boots on the ground again. Luckily you. And apparently it was just you. Wait, who else was out there?
Me and one other person. Shout out to Pam. Pam, don't kill me. I'm gonna
Pam
channel.
Pam Oliver.
We laughed when she told me her name. Yes, Pam. It's so funny. Pam. Yes, Paging Dr. Pam. Paging Dr. Pam.
Okay.
That's her YouTube.
Another doctor?
Yes. Gorgeous.
Wow.
And when I tell you, walked in, it was so smooth. Little courthouse, right? This is how I know that Wendy was putting on for the people, because we're talking about Carroll County, this little town, nothing like Montgomery County, right? So we get there, go upstairs. We're sitting in like a seated area, and she sees me, I see her. We both kind of
Did you guys see each other at BravoCon?
Did
you guys see each other at BravoCon? Did you meet her at BravoCon?
No, I just met her there. So we introduced ourselves.
You met her at her court case.
Yes. And I said, she introduced herself, her channel, Paging Dr. Pam. And I say, I'm Taria, we go podcast. And she said, I know.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm mixing up the Pams. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Wendy Osefo.
No, you know what?
I'm mixing up the Pams. I'm sorry.
And I'm so mad because I forgot to tweet that I had eyes on Eddie and Wendy, but I didn't see Pam or Eddie Hennessy. I didn't see them show up.
They didn't show up.
They didn't show up.
Are you sure? Because she was definitely giving, with that first stole, she was definitely giving Pam Oliver.
When Karen said that Wendy had a slither, I thought Karen was putting on. The way Wendy, when they called her name, the way she walked up to the judge, and then as she slithered up to the table, then took her hand and put it in her pants pocket and was like this the entire time. I was like, Wendy is showing out. She was posing When she slipped that hand in that pocket, I said, "Does
Look,
she
I'm gonna do it
realize
now.
she's in her pocket?"
And
I
it was
said,
her body like that? Like, give us the
"Yes."
body. Was it
Like
like?
it was like this. Okay, wait. Here's the first stole. She was like this,
And where was she looking? Like, was she looking
straight
in the
ahead
direction
at
of?
the straight ahead at.
And you're literally behind her.
I'm behind her. Look, shout out to Pam. When we first went to sit down, see, I had to make friends with the bailiff because I wanted him to like not tell me I couldn't take my phone. So Pam, shout out to Pam. She says to me before we go in, "Do you have a pen and paper?" And I forgot to bring one. She said, "Because the bailiffs have came out and made mention of phones." And I said, "Well, I know you can't record, but we can take notes." So she said he made a comment. So I said, "Okay, I got to try to get a pen." She gave me paper. We go in, we stand
Oh,
next to the bailiff, and he goes, Pam goes and takes a seat. And I said, "Hello." He said, "Hi." I said, "I thought we were going to stand next to you the whole time." He said, "You can if you want." I said, "Do you have an extra pen?" He goes, gives me his pen. I said, "Okay."
I'm telling Corey.
I told him, "You got to do what you got to do for the job. You got to get the job done."
Journalism.
Journalism. So Pam had chose the seat in the back. When I looked and saw that there were all these rows behind Eddie and Wendy, I said, let's sit closer. So I did give them a row. I wanted them to have a little bit of privacy.
Oh, really? Because you seem like you were close.
It was one row in between us. Like I
Oh.
could have touched her probably if I had leaned up. So y'all, this is why I say
And
when
pulled on her wig a little bit.
seeing it in person is not what you see on Potomac. And I'm not even being shady. I'm just going to say that. I was shocked that, well, let me go back. Before me and Pam walked in they walk into the vestibule. And I was shocked that they didn't have an entourage. Karen had an entourage. It literally was just Eddie and Wendy by themselves. They looked very nervous. One thing I can say, I've
Mm.
seen Wendy at BravoCon, but seeing her, she's stunning. She is
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. But she has these eyes, and like I made eye contact, and she looked like a scared little girl. And we're body language
Ooh.
experts here.
Yeah.
She was scared, and she was so thin. Eddie as well, you could tell. And I was like, it has to be the stress. It has to be. Like you
Well,
could,
have you? Well, okay, because the after show, she looked stunning on the
you know
after
what?
show,
Yeah.
but she looked really slim there too. But that's
Yeah.
that's filmed after the arrest too, so that could be some of it. But no, some people have seen her this season. They were like, oh, she lost some weight too.
She did. And so maybe I hadn't been paying it, but seeing her and I was like, wow. You could tell she looked so nervous. And
Mhm.
so they go in, then we go in, and Eddie is like throughout it. Mind you, Kemp, there's other cases. Child, it was unaliving case. When they brought that man in shackles, the inmate, I said, "This is not Mary Mary. Them shackles are not coming off so he can dance." Like, and then the family of who he took out of here was there, like a husband and a wife, and I just felt so
What were
bad.
they?
But
What
it
were
was
they there for that at that particular moment? Were they getting a status
to
hearing?
to push back a different sentencing. Like his people were asking for this amount of time, the prosecution was asking for this amount of time, so they agreed upon a different time to come back so they can figure out how much time he's getting.
Was it the same judge?
Yes.
Oh.
So what was weird to me, and I said, oh, probably because it's not a sentencing. With Karen, it was just her because it was her sentencing. With this,
Mm.
it would be like going to traffic court and you have all these other cases.
I don't know about that life. You were talking about all the judges you've seen. I was like, I don't know about.
Yo,
I don't
I
know
have
about
seen a
that
lot of
life.
judges. Yo, I used to drive reckless and dirty in Jersey. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. But I am redeemed. The Lord redeems. What does Miss E say? Thank God for Jesus. So the fact we sat there longer than it was for Wendy to be heard. But during it, you could see Wendy, she was sitting back very straight. It was almost like Pam said, like this mask that she has on. And I think that's what people call arrogance on the show. It was like her
Mm.
armor, her look. And so then Eddie grabs her hand and she's looking straight ahead and he's looking at her like this and he's rubbing her hand,
Oh, wow.
rubbing on her.
I
When
love
she
that you pay attention to these details because I think a lot of journalists do not.
Well, because growing up, I loved, as Rose Nyland from Golden Girls called it, La La, Law and Order. I mean, LA Law. She called it La La. And
Okay.
one episode, they said a good detective walks in and immediately takes a snapshot of the room to remember everything. You need to remember every detail. What time was it? What did this person have on? How was the painting sitting on the wall? And that's what I try to do. So
Do
I
you have
was,
photographic memory?
I don't think it's photographic. I wish it was, but I have a, with me, I think, well, depending on what photographing means. For me, photographing means looking and taking an instant snapshot and remembering. For me, it's like looking, studying it for a second, and then remembering the picture and downloading it in my mind. So that's what I try to do. And so I was looking at their body language because we are experts over here. And like I said, they were sitting next to each other. When Wendy slithered up there, the prosecution,
Was it
y'all,
literally like a slither? Is it like
was,
the...
I'm telling you, Wendy was on a runway, and I said, to where? And she kept, this is what I mean. There is a little bit, I know the word narcissism is overused, so I don't want to say that, but I'll say these housewives think highly of themselves. We saw all the press Karen got, Jen Shah got. Wendy saw her name all over.
Uh-oh.
My bad, Catherine. She came looking like that at small Carroll County for the press, and she kept doing this.
Looking
It
around.
was so much because she didn't have to look this way because we were against the wall. So she was like,
oh.
And then she made eye contact with Pam and smiled. And then when it was
Does she know
over,
Pam? Has Pam ever met her?
No, but she was looking for anything. It felt like so then as she was leaving, after the prosecution agreed that they could be tried together, which this is interesting. Her lawyer says, I don't know I forget word for word, but basically there is a co-defendant in this case. A motion was sent late yesterday.
Wow.
To the judge. And the judge said, well, it hasn't come across my desk, but I trust what you're saying, counselor. And he said, yeah, it was sent late. We want them basically to be tried together. We've already settled on a date. He asked the prosecutor, did she agree? She says yes. And we've settled on December 19th, right?
Yeah.
The judge, I could tell by his energy, he seemed personable. Like he was joking with the prosecutor, and he seemed but I guess that's their job. For me, I've been in front of judges that are like, by the book. I know I have.
Look, judges. Okay.
But then I've been in front of other judges that are personable, right? So he was very personable. So after she walked,
in comparison to like the Karen Huger judge and this judge,
the Karen Huger judge was it was like, I'm personal-ish, but I'm business. Okay, you can tell your side. Okay, you can tell your side. And then when he read her for filth, it was like,
we remember the audio.
Yes. So I think there was a slight bit of a difference. This judge seems fair. I was going to do my research and see what people have said about this judge. So after
you have time.
After they agreed, she turns around. Her walk back was very different. She walks. It was almost like a little bit faster, grabs her coat. Eddie gets up. They leave. And Pam says to her, Wendy, you got this. And she says, thank you. Thank you. And Eddie wasn't looking to the left, to the right. Him and his glasses. I said, wait a minute, glasses. Okay.
Sunglasses?
Yes, he had on, not sunglasses, like,
prescription glasses?
Yeah, but you know the style that's come back, like the 70s style. They almost look like police glasses, but they're clear, like this new, like retro type glasses. He had those on. But it was shocking to see them. I don't know why it was shocking, because we've met people before on TV. There was something about it. I think this small little courtroom, and what
you're there for,
what we were there for, and the way they arrived. Like, have you ever seen the episode of Martin where they thought they won the lottery and they come in on this, like, with this wind machine? That's almost like what it was, but without all of that.
Oh,
and I couldn't believe. I go back to, you're wearing a stole. And my thought was that on the list of things? Was this business suit on the list of things? This wig was not. But I couldn't help but think that.
But my thing is, the stole feels like you're giving, like you're a certain stature. And I'm not sure if that's the way you should come into court.
Exactly. Especially, again, I have to go back to, we're at this small town courthouse that has already talked about your finances, wants to make your financials public, talks about how much debt you're in, how much Wendy is in, Eddie's in, their businesses are in, they're combined, and you show up like this.
Yeah. You should come in there looking real humble.
Yes. And I'm not saying don't wear makeup. I'm not saying coming in like your dredges. Even Karen, you could look at Karen and see that her suit was expensive, but it was still very just the bob, just the every day, you know. But Wendy, that's why I said there's a level of, it's not narcissism, but I feel like there's a part of Wendy's ego that this could kind of feed a little bit, like this attention, this.
Because you see it all the time with these housewives, and it's interesting. And I've said this before, I feel like this drama, this criminal case, although very daunting, and no one wishes this on anyone,
Right.
but this could secure her spot on RHOP for next season. Well, definitely next season.
Yeah.
And subsequent seasons after that, depending on how long this is drawn out.
Yes.
And the fact that she came dressed the way that she came dressed, did you talk about her makeup? Like, how was the makeup and
It
everything?
was, I don't care. She got that done this morning professionally.
Got glam.
It was almost like TV makeup. And I said, oh.
So she's probably expecting more fanfare there.
Yes. I said, me and Pam, she was expecting people to be there with the way she kept looking. But even if she was nervous, the way she was literally looking back, even when the door wasn't
Maybe
open.
she was waiting on Susan.
Child, Susan wasn't there. And what's funny, Pam, is funny. I said, we were like, where's her mom? And I said, maybe she's with the kids. She said, they are in school. I said, well, yeah, it is a school day. But the way, if you could have seen her makeup, it was almost airbrushed. And I said, oh, this is for camera. This is camera makeup. So she was ready. And that's why I go back to, there's that part of them that, yes, they're in a bad place, but this is still attention. I'm going to be photographed. That stole did it for me. I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, it's like they're going to a show, a fashion show.
Yeah.
You know?
That stood out to me when you mentioned that. I was like, wait a minute. And then the whole looking around was interesting to me. Sidebar, for those that are just joining us, we are live here on IG with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. IG has been giving me these issues. Now I don't really see the comments moving anymore.
Me neither.
So I think that there might be an issue. Guys, we're just going to keep going. So apologies that we can't see your comments, because IG did this the last time that I was live, and I was just like, I can't. So sorry, but we're recording this, so you'll see the replay of this and be able to chime in the comment section. But keep sharing the live, keep reposting the live. I'm here again with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. Be sure to follow her account here on Instagram, but also follow her podcast and her YouTube channel with all of the same names. She was in the building today when Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo have decided, I guess late last night, that instead of the request that they originally made to have these two separate cases, we had lawyers call into our YouTube channel and explain why the legal strategy would be to separate the cases to make the prosecutors work a little harder. It seems as if some people are speculating, well, they probably can't afford to keep these two separate trials.
Oh, that's a good point. And then there's also, if we have Wendy, I was thinking Eddie has more charges, right? We have
18.
Eddie on the email. We have Eddie on the recording. If she went by herself, would her lawyers try to use the strategy like she was some unsuspecting, like, okay, we got to do what we got to do for this client. But then now, say if she does get off or does get a lighter, would it all fall on Eddie? And they don't want to take that chance either.
I mean, I'm sure they've weighed all of their options.
Yeah.
And that's why they decided before this hearing, okay, how we're going to move forward is that we're going to ask to have them be in one trial instead of the two separate trials. So that was really interesting. I figured today would be a quick,
it was
a quick hearing.
Yeah.
Like super quick, I'm sure. And you had to drive all the way up there.
All the way. Thank God traffic was light. I said of all days, traffic was light. I was there. I was outside parked at 7:52. I'm like, the court don't even open till 8:30. But I wanted to make sure I got a seat in the courtroom because their courtroom is different. With Karen, there was a vestibule. So if you didn't get seated in the courtroom, I was standing right outside the doors, which is great because the judge really can't see you on your phone. Even the bailiff, the sheriff, they were all in there, but they weren't saying anything. But with this, we're literally in the courtroom, and the bailiff was tall. So I took all this into consideration. I was like, okay, he's tall. So if I was standing behind the benches, I couldn't look over and see somebody on their phone. He's tall. He can see it. So when
don't get in trouble.
So look, this is what I did. I calculated when I was going to use my phone because when the trial before Eddie and Wendy's with the unaliving, I guess this is new. He went and stood by when their trial came up, he went and stood by the victim's family. And I said, I wonder if that's in case they try to do something. He stood there the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and then he followed them out. So that I was like, okay, let me use my phone then.
Well, what you should, next time, tips. Next time, not in court, but when they're out of court, get those pictures.
I'm going to get them because I told Kempire, I was like,
Ask questions too.
And I feel like Wendy, because the way she was looking, in my mind, I thought she would have been open to have to talking. And I could have led with supporting you, Wendy. We don't know what's going on. You know, how are you feeling today? So, and y'all, Kempire and Corey, I knew I was going to hear it from one or the other or both. I told Corey, he said, I got it. I knew I should have coached you. And then Kempire's like, you are a reporter. But I had so many options, y'all. I even messed it up. So we walk out. Well, when they first walked in, I could have got them, but I wasn't fast. Then we walk out. They're standing right there. And like I said, the courtroom is this big. So if I would have waited for the elevator, it would have been very obvious why I was waiting. But they were talking to their lawyer. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give them that. I walk downstairs. Me and Pam talk. Go out to my car, walk all the way to the parking lot, come back around and look over, and I see a black SUV with a guy outside holding an umbrella. I said, they like themselves a black SUV. I pull up behind the SUV, and he's looking at me like this. Dude, so I'm trying not to be obvious. So I'm looking at my phone like this. But I had looked down.
He knew.
By the time I looked up, Wendy was already in the car, and Eddie was hopping in. Corey said, no, you should have looked at him like this with your phone. Because they want the paparazzi.
What the hell is that you have?
It's a mirror. Look, it's a mirror.
Oh, I was like, wait, is that a phone? Is it a flip phone or something?
No, but
well, I mean, look, this was just a status hearing. There's going to be more. I don't really feel like a lot of people are going to go up there for the status hearings or things like that. They're going to go, if they're going to go, they're going to go for the trial, if there is a trial.
Yeah.
But even then, I just feel because of where it is, you're not going to see a lot of press. And I'm thinking, if your reading of her energy is correct, that she's going to be highly disappointed.
And when me and Pam were texting about this, when I think of who it is, Karen, we know that the grand dame can tell some grand lies. She's not the arbiter of truth, but she is able to form a connection with the audience. Mm-hmm. And you have funny moments. And you're like, man, that Karen gets on my nerves, but blah, 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 right? And we disagree with her drinking and driving. Absolutely. We don't feel like she should have gotten off. No. Then people like her. Then I said, even somebody like Ashley that people now cannot stand, people would still show up for her. Why? Because Ashley sparks something in people, whereas Wendy just comes off to people as arrogant, and they're like, we want no parts of it. So I also feel like the same way she showed up in court is like how she shows up on the show. And that was all body language. You know, people can say what they want about body language, but I thought I use body language for certain things if I want to convey a message without saying it. And Wendy was definitely, when I saw her flawless like that, I actually was shocked because I was like, whoa, it's like she stepped right off of TV. And I was like, girl, your court case was at 8:30 or 8:45. I know you live like 20 some minutes from here. How early did you get up and put this together?
Well, you saw her wife's off. She gets up at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
She probably got up even earlier to get hair and makeup done.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, no matter how it goes, I said a prayer for them this morning because I can only imagine. And that's the side of me that was like, if I felt like if I had the title reporter, right, if I was there for NBC News or whatever, I would have no problem getting in. But it was that part of me that was like, you know, like taking a picture of them in this state. But at the end of the day, I was there and I did take a picture of the back of their heads. So I might as well have
got perfect. I was like, I don't even need to see their face. I was like, well, next time get them going in. But look, this is a learning process.
Yeah.
And again, this was just the hearing. You're going to have probably so many other, December 19th, as you mentioned before, they have another hearing as well. Yes. And they both will be there for as co-defendants for their insurance fraud case. Well, we appreciate you being the boots on the ground when it comes to this story. And like I said before, next time, at least try and get a question.
Yeah,
get the picture. What would you have asked them?
I would say, Wendy, I would start out with, Wendy, I see you. How are you holding up? You look good, but how are you, sis? Boom, you throw
Mm.
sis out there and just see
Mm-hmm.
what she says.
Soften her.
Yes,
Because I feel
soften
like
her.
that happened at BravoCon. Someone said something endearing to her after she spoke about the
Mhm.
case, and then she was just like, yes,
Yeah.
she wants that support, and I think she would be open, especially because there wasn't a lot of press there.
Mhm.
Like, was there even any local press?
No, none. With Karen, they had the camera set up outside. One of them said, I don't even know who this is. They just told me to come out and set up with Karen. But there was nothing. I don't even think the people in the courtroom knew who Wendy was.
Oh, damn, it's going to be a hit to her ego.
Yes. So it was very much like I said, the town is, my cousin used to live in that town. And regardless of the racial things going on, they just did not know who Wendy was. And it was very much like, oh, okay, this is just a run of the mill case. We had an unaliving trial before. This is fraud. We get ready to deal with traffic tickets after. Like, it was very much,
Wow.
there was none. I was shocked when I got up there and walked right in and went right through security. I was like, it's 8:32. I'm in the courthouse. Okay. And then I double checked to make sure that her name was on the board. I kind of laughed and joked with the people going because the metal detector went off, and it was because of my Nikes and because of my watch because they had metal in them. And then he said, do you know where you're going? And I said, he didn't ask other people that. So I said, I mistakenly said the fourth floor. And then I said, I mean the second floor. He goes, if there's a fourth floor, you need to let me know because we don't know. So we kind of had a little bit of banter. I like people to take a screenshot of this face and remember, because if I need something or I need to ask you a question,
Yeah.
but that's how I would start out with Wendy. I would ask her, and then I would, because Eddie, he's the husband, he's the protector. I would say to him, it's beautiful to see you support her the way you are.
Mm. I mean,
I mean, you ain't
this
got no
is,
choice.
well, he's also on trial.
Well, let me ask you a question. I know you worked with different law people. We've had people come in. You have the wonderful Kristen come on for Diddy's trial. So
Yeah.
you're surrounded by law. When you first heard, because they were going to be scheduled in November. Let's push it back because they want to go separate. We push it back to go separate, only for them late in the midnight hour to decide to go together. What was your first thought?
I wasn't completely shocked
Okay.
at all. I wasn't shocked that it was a very quick hearing. I
Okay.
wasn't shocked that they decided because they probably knew that the judge more than likely would have been like denied it. And again, financially, I see a lot of people saying that financially, I don't know if they could afford two separate trials.
I didn't even think about that. That thought didn't even cross my mind because I told you they're pulling from the same law firm. They have
Yeah,
the lawyers have the same last name. So
yeah.
I was, wow. Okay,
And
that is rough.
maybe the attorneys advise them it doesn't make sense at this particular point based on maybe what they've gathered in these last few weeks. Maybe it
Mm.
doesn't make sense based on their legal strategy, which we don't know what their legal strategy. I'm not an attorney for those that are just watching us. If you're just watching us, I can't see your comments. Something's going on with Instagram. So if don't think that we're ignoring you,
Yeah.
but we can't see your comments for some reason. This happened the last time I was live, but it would be interesting to see. But that would have been a question I would have asked if I was outside in the rain. I would have been like, Wendy and Eddie, what was the legal or I would have asked their attorneys because they probably be more open to answering that.
Right.
So
From a
now
legal.
you know what their attorneys look like. Now you
Okay.
know if they come out, they would be more willing to answer certain questions. And even if they don't, they're going to give you some sort of answer.
That's a good, okay, legally speaking, can I ask you, okay, just not even can I ask, just ask the question. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, because they will respond in the proper way as attorneys. But my first question to the attorneys or to well Eddie's an attorney because I don't think Wendy and Eddie would have answered it. But I would have asked the attorneys like, what's the legal strategy of now moving forward as co-defendants as opposed to two separate trials?
That's a good, and I have my little mic. That's a good,
Oh,
okay. So I'm going to be prepared next time. Corey is going to be off because we're going to be just coming back from vacation on the 17th.
oh,
And I'm like, he might be like, I'm driving you and you were going to get these pictures. like, I have to deal with him.
you got to do what you got to do.
I'm gonna have to deal with my man saying you do which is so crazy because it's funny doing this now because I initially went to college for broadcast journalism. And
Mm.
then after I had my daughter, I was like, and I even got an internship package for ABC News in Philly and that Philadelphia. And then when I had my daughter, I was like, well, let's do something quick. Let's just do liberal arts and then we can try to get on to something. But it's, and it's funny, my daughter is interning in DC, and with the whole National Guard shooting, she was actually in the court, and they saw like taking notes because that's her. She works with DC Crime Unit for this
Oh,
semester.
wow.
So I was like, look at us both in court today. And she was like, yes, we're both in court today. We're both
Mommy
in
and
court
daughter.
because she has to like ask questions and do all these things. And she said that the prosecutors do not like the press in DC. So it's kind of like toughening her a little bit, like to be like, it's court selection today, this today. But it was just funny how like, oh, we're both in court today. Me for a housewife, you for another crime. But
No, Lord, a very, very serious crime. All right.
I
I want
think
to
I
move.
think you should take off, come spend the night on the 19th. We go together and then go to Tally Ho.
Not tally ho. If I was to do that, it won't be for the 19th. It would be for
Okay.
the trial.
Oh, we can talk about that. Okay.
Offline.
Oh, yes.
Guys, if you're just joining us, feel free to share the live and feel free to follow our guest, Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. She also has a podcast. She also has her YouTube channel, so make sure you follow her there. She had the boots on the ground in the courthouse today for the Wendy and Eddie Osefo insurance fraud criminal case that we will be following. So if you're new here, be sure to follow both of us. I do want to talk briefly about Andy Cohen speaking out today. So, Jen Shaw, December 10th, apparently, according to multiple reports, will be released after multiple reductions in her sentence for frauding the elderly, including a World War II veteran who unalived himself because of the amount of debt that he's been in. I'm mentioning that because that might be part of the reason that Bravo doesn't want to touch her at all. Yeah. Let me play for you what Andy Cohen said. And let me know if you can hear this, Taria. So I just want to make sure because I'm wearing my mic.
Speaking of Jen Shaw, let me just say, because I think she is getting...
You can? Okay. Okay, so Andy spoke about this on his radio platform, on Sirius Radio.
Speaking of Jen Shaw, let me just say, because I think she is getting released next week. And I just want to say once again, for anyone who is asking, I think I've said this before, she's not coming back to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's not. So I wish her all the best in her next life.
Does he really?
I would assume she'll wind up on a reality show of some kind. But it won't be anything that I'm working on. I don't know that I could see Bravo working with her again. So
that stood out to me as well.
Yes.
That he's saying Bravo as well. But let me finish what you're saying.
There you go. Can we put a period on the end of that sentence? And kudos to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, who have not only survived, but thrived in the years following her incarceration. So, the show is well on its, feet.
Do you have some sort of policy? Like, why can't she come back?
There has to be a line, John.
Right.
And where was this line before?
Yeah.
And not that I'm advocating for Jen Shaw to come back
Same.
at all. But it's very interesting. It makes me wonder what exactly happened behind the scenes. I do know that they were not happy that she ended up doing her first exclusive interview in regards to what she was facing with this court case. She did that with a YouTuber. Yeah. And that goes against everything that they want when it comes to Bravo. So I'm wondering if that was the line, because Bravo, they could care less about victims.
Please.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. They could care less about them scamming the elderly, unless then on the flip side, I'm like, did one of them say, well, I have elderly parents. It could have been my parents. But then it's like now your personal feelings are getting involved with this particular case. Did they not like Jen Shaw? Did they want to separate from her? Anyway, like did the cast behind the scenes come together and say, hey, we're giving you great TV, but kind of band together and said, we don't want to film with this person. We feel unsafe. Was it the black eye situation with Heather Gay and the liability that could have been? And they had to have a conversation with her, because remember when Andy spoke about it a couple months, like some months back, and Jen came out and posted and said, basically conversations have been had. Everything's all good. We know where we stand with each other. Mm-hmm. So their conversations have been had about her coming back. And the answer is no. I
And
would be.
it also makes you wonder behind the scenes whether or not she was the nightmare. I remember the first Bravo, not first BravoCon, but the one after the pandemic, the one in New York, the last one they had in New York. She was here in New York when she wasn't invited to BravoCon, and she's like,
Yes.
she was causing havoc behind the scenes. So I feel like all of that played a part.
And then didn't she lie or try to make it seem like she was or she wasn't? Then it came out
Mm-hmm.
that she wasn't, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Jen,
Yeah.
because
I
you would
mean,
think
she's a
Bravo would be
scammer.
salivating. Yeah, yeah. Well, so let's look at that. She's a scammer. She scammed elderly people. Carroll County has said that Wendy and Eddie don't have a victimless crime
Yeah. You're right. And we've talked about that. But again, innocent until proven
until proven
guilty.
guilty. Yes.
I couldn't even get the guilty out.
It's
Hmm.
interesting though that Wendy's defense was going to be, she wasn't Karen. I'm vindicated. It was, uh, you didn't follow protocol. But I guess we'll, like you said, we'll see.
They have to try everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, a lot of people point to that out thinking that's almost as if she's not necessarily denying the allegations,
Okay.
but they have to try different things before we get to the point
Yeah.
of the trial where they will lay it out in regards to like you guys didn't they have said that they don't feel like the police really investigated properly. They didn't
Yeah.
speak to us for the last 18 months kind of thing. But based on what they've laid out, I'm like, pretty
Yeah.
damning.
Yeah. So, we may see Wendy, but we won't be seeing you, Jen. I'm not sorry about it.
No, no, no. I do want to talk about this scene from Married to Medicine. I'm going to play it for you guys really
Okay.
quickly in regards to newbie from Married to Medicine, Brandy, and her interaction with Dr. Jackie on the latest episode, the premiere episode of Married to Medicine. Some of you didn't even know it happened. That's Brandy speaking. So Dr. Jackie, after being introduced to Brandy, who's a newbie on the show, she's a friend up to the show, and she says she moves closer to Brandy, and it's like, is your thyroid enlarged? Mind you, let me just point out the people that are here. Brandy's there with her husband. She's there with Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, Angel Love, who's also a newbie on the show, is there. A bunch of people are there. Let me rewind a little bit. See who else is there. Oh, and Dr. Mimi is standing there as well. First of all, Angel Love's face is just like,
Yes. I like,
Brandy's just like,
because what if that was something that I'm going through testing with right now? I'm supposed to go in for my ultrasound. I have an enlarged one. My mom had an enlarged one. My daughter had half of her thyroid removed
mm,
because there were cells there. So it's like, I can imagine that being me or my daughter being there and you asking, and like, I don't have to get into my medical history with you, you putting me on the spot. That's
yeah.
like someone
As a
asking her,
doctor.
a doctor. And what if I say no? Are you going to start checking? Like, what would be the next steps? To me, that was so. I just feel like it was like egregious. I really do, and I feel like if her response, I'm not even gonna go there. Another reason for me why I don't care for. I've never cared for Dr. Jackie ever.
Well, this is not the first time she's been egregious when it comes to speaking about people's health. There are multiple examples, and we can go through them, but this is what Brandy had to say on social media in response.
I just got off of work, been seeing patients all day, just put the kids to bed, but had to address some of this married to medicine craziness. Okay. Which I roll in there with my little cute pink dress. I think I look beautiful, meeting all these people for the first time, and then out of the blue, I get asked, is your thyroid longer? And I'm like, did she just ask me that? Did she ask me?
First of all, I love the fact that she edited this video.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
So I'm like, is she being shady? Yes, she is. But this does create an opportunity to take this a little bit further. Further than being petty, further than being shady, anything like that. Is we can talk about a bigger issue. which more than 20 million Americans suffer for some type of thyroid condition. And 60% have no clue like me. I had no clue until I was pregnant with my twins. My labs went crazy, my hormones went crazy, like everything went out of whack. I now know that I have a condition that I never knew about, and my hormones exacerbated it, right? So that's why this is such an important issue. It's important to have these conversations so that we're educated and we're made aware, right? I've been a nurse practitioner for 15 years. Like, I educate my patients. Like, we really dive deep into what's going on with them. We do comprehensive lab work. I've diagnosed so many people with thyroid conditions that they never knew even existed. So that's why I love what I do. That's why I love pouring into other people. And that's why it's important to watch your words. You never know what somebody else is going through or what their story is. But what we can't do is use our expertise to shame someone else for what they have going on or what we perceive that they have going on. But what you can do is catch us next Sunday on Married to Medicine at 9 o'clock on Bravo, and come see your girl at Conquer Aesthetics.
Okay. All right,
That was,
Brandy.
come on, that Brandy, I like that was good because she used her platform to educate. She didn't shade back. She was direct, and she
Yeah.
called on the integrity of doctors. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved every bit of it.
And that maybe that this is our introduction to her as a newbie
Yeah.
on the show. I know you have a hard time watching Married to Medicine for a variety of reasons. You probably will enjoy the premiere because there is no Dr. Heavenly.
Yes.
She's a friend of this season, but she was a topic of discussion during the premiere. But this was a scene that I talked about it during my recap, but I didn't see a lot of people talking about it on social media because it was such a blip in the season premiere, which for me was mostly lackluster and boring.
Ooh.
But a lot of people, when they called in, they were like, it just regurgitated why they do not like Dr. Jackie, why they feel like Dr. Jackie should be gone for a very long time. The whole situation when it comes to them not holding her accountable in recent years for that resurfaced footage from Dr. Heavenly's YouTube channel, and them not holding her accountable at the reunion, for me, has laid the groundwork for they rolled out the red carpet for her to do it again.
Yes. Because it's like, because I'm Dr. Jackie and I can get away with these things. And to me, as much as people don't like Simone, when you see her with her patients, I listened to a podcast that she did a couple years ago. The way in which she talks about her patients would have me go see her because
Mm,
she, one of her patients spoke and said, she asked me questions like that other doctors haven't asked me. She got to know me and she
mm,
handled me accordingly. So, Dr. Jackie can say, well, basically, I know this, I know that, I know, that's great. Like, she specialty, whatever. But the Dr. Simone's bedside manner was actually shocking to me because I wouldn't necessarily think that. But the way
mm,
patients have spoke about her, seeing her with patients, again, listening to her on this podcast, she not only loves what she does, she loves the people that come along with it.
mm,
I would go to her before I went to Dr. Jackie. For me, I would be nervous. Did I gain too much weight?
mm.
Am I not represented well? Are my numbers bad? Is she gonna not believe me when I say my ankles are swollen because I've been working? Is she gonna say it's just because I've been sitting down eating fried foods? Is she gonna? And
Mm.
let's keep it real.
Yeah.
It's doctors, and this is no, and I mean this 1000%. This is no shade to Dr. Jackie. There's a lot of people that do things that are specialists in things that they've never done. But a pregnant woman can say, hey, doc, this is actually like, maybe you haven't seen it in your science book, but this is what's happening to my body. Can you
Yeah.
listen to me? We just had 2 instances recently where Black women were not taken seriously. One had her baby, in the waiting room, and one had her baby in the car.
Yeah.
So Dr. Jackie, to me, she lacks that empathy piece. So she may be knowledgeable, but I'm not saying Simone, my appointment has to be an hour, but it doesn't have to be clinical either. She doesn't have to lay on the bed and stroke my cheek, but it would be nice to know that my doctor is hearing me and
Mm.
listening to me. And I feel
Yeah.
like Simone takes that time with her patients. And I don't think Dr. Jackie said in season 1 that she was what did she call herself? Like, not bougie, but it was something that already let me know I think I'm just a little bit above. you know,
Mm.
everyone around me. When she talked about Toya gaining weight, and she talked about her body, and she called Dr. Heavenly a busted can of biscuits. Now, Dr. Heavenly did say everybody doesn't want to look like a little boy to Jackie. But I'm just saying, like, she's in a field where women deal with PCOS, hormones out of whack. They're gaining weight. How am I going to be comfortable enough to say, Doc, I don't know why I put on 15 pounds in the last 2 months. I'm eating right. I'm exercising. What is it? And you're just telling me you're overweight. We need to fix it.
Mm.
You know, so
No.
yeah, I just,
How do you feel about speaking of Dr. Heavenly, how do you feel about Dr. Heavenly is now running for Congress?
I'm going to say this. If she truly has a heart for the people and really wants to make change, and it could come about through her, God bless. I'm going to choose to believe that this isn't a stunt, because Congress is a lot, right? It's like, who would do that for a stunt?
And she went from saying that she was going to run for state representative to now she's doing Congress.
Yes. So I feel like I'm going to try to have, because Lord knows I don't have any faith in our administration right now. So I'm like, I've heard her on different interviews. I still kind of raise my brow to her, but at the same time, she does seem to have a passion for it. So I'm going to choose to believe.
I've seen growth. I've seen growth since she announced her candidacy. I've definitely seen like she's doing her homework when it comes to it. But it's one thing to talk a good game and actually be able to execute. And I'm actually also surprised because I've seen Quad be by her side and navigate these conversations and interviews. And I was like, okay, Quad, I see you.
Yes.
I question your ability to be a campaign manager, but I feel like you are actually doing a good job.
I mean, when I think about Quad with Dr. Gregory, she put that whole practice together. She did everything. Only
Because
thing
he
she
don't
didn't
have
do
no bedside manner.
at all. The only thing she didn't do was treat the patients.
Yeah.
So the same thing. And I will say one thing, I listened to Heavenly on Candace's podcast, and what she said made sense. And I'm going to say it actually inspired me to make sure I know who my congressman is, who my rep is, what do they stand for? Why haven't I heard from them? Because she said, out of all these Congress people, she gave the number. She said, I know Jasmine Crockett. I know this. She named a few. She said, I couldn't tell, like, basically people couldn't tell you who the rest are. And if you don't know the person that's in charge of your district or what, like, how then can you, how do you know who to go to when you want change to happen? So she made me want to be like, you know what? I need to be better at my local things.
Yeah.
So I will say that.
Okay. So, but would you vote for Dr.
Oh, I would have to pray about it, because I would have to
not pray about it.
I would have to make sure I'm gonna be honest with this. I would force myself to listen to what she's saying and do outside of my bias, because I got to be honest, I would have a bias because of what I've seen. Does she really have a heart for the people? Does she want to make it better? And if she did, and I truly felt like she was speaking from her heart, then I would. But going off the cuff, when I first seen it, I was like, I wouldn't vote for her. But I will tell you this, a vote for Heavenly is a vote for you and your mama too.
That better be on her. Did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
That's a good slogan. Send that to Quad.
You know, look, she should be telling her, listen, a vote for you, a vote for me is a vote for your mama, better health care. A vote for me is a vote for your mama, better small business practices. A vote for me is a vote for your mama, maybe attaining home ownership. A vote for Dr. Heavenly is a vote for you and your mama too.
Oh my God, please send that to somebody. That's actually really good.
I said I was going to do a video.
You should.
And, you know.
You should. For those that are just joining us, we can't see your comments. So I know you're probably going off in the comments like, why are they not reading our comments? It's because we can't see it. For some reason, this happened the last time that this is why I don't go like, follow us on TikTok. We'll do a TikTok live at some particular point because I don't know what's happening here. But it's okay. You will be able to watch the replay. Replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on some of the topics that we talked about. We have breaking news, which is going to lead me into what I just did a video on. Funky Dineva versus Tamar.
Baby.
But wait, I got breaking news for you, though. You haven't seen this. At least I don't think you've seen. No, you haven't, because we've been live. Tamar Braxton is lawyering up after Funky Dineva accused her of hooking up with Mendeecees Harris. So the Jasmine brand writes this in their recent post. Tamar Braxton and her legal team are shutting down a viral accusation made by Funky Dineva, calling it nothing more than a completely untrue rumor. The commentator recently alleged Tamar was involved in an inappropriate relationship with Mendeecees, a claim her camp says is entirely fabricated. In a statement shared with fans, Tamar's attorney stressed that the story had no basis in truth and was being addressed immediately. Tamar echoed the message directly, telling the public, "I'm letting my lawyer take it from here," making it clear she plans to let legal action speak louder than online speculation. Dineva broke the internet Monday night when he claimed that Tamar and Mendeecees were making out in a car. She better hope
Come on.
that he doesn't have evidence
That's because I could see.
and other witnesses, because they were also at a club where he mentioned that they were getting very cozy with each other.
Yes, I was thinking Funky Dineva is not smart. He's smart,
Yes.
regardless of what people feel about
Mm-hmm.
him. And so I don't.
And now he's gonna make another $12,000 with a video tonight. What time is it?
It's
talking about it.
6:53 p.m. Eastern Standard.
I did not expect to see that, but that's the update. We had breaking news, guys, in regards to the Tamar and Funky of it all. But just backtracking to that story, Funky went live last night to talk about Tamar, sort of like sending subtle shade about him in telling the story about her getting into some sort of accident in her home where she busted her teeth and facial paralysis, and she said that she almost died. He's saying cap on that.
Yeah.
Then he exposed the fact, what really went down the night that happened, and why he did not walk her to her apartment. Apparently, she was in the back of the Uber. Allegedly, she's now denying this, making out with Mendeecees, who is in a relationship. I don't know if they're really married. In a relationship with Yandy from Love and Hip Hop. So he says that this was the third time that they had met up together, and randomly Mendeecees shows up.
Yeah.
This is what he says. This is according to Funky Dineva. So he exposed a lot in this video. We did a whole unpacking of this earlier today. So for those that want to see the video and things like that, you can follow me on my YouTube channel. So now, for those that are just joining us, Tamar and her attorney are speaking out, and they are taking legal action against these fabricated rumors.
And nastiness.
What are your thoughts, though, when you saw this news break yesterday with Funky responding to Tamar?
At first, I thought, okay, she said a party I threw for my friend. You already cleared that up. But when he laid out step by step the night, and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like somebody threw a party. It sounded like I wanted my friend to go out and we went to a club, and maybe I had sparklers and said, oh, like we went to Chili's and said, oh, it's his birthday. That's not me throwing a party for you. I was like, I can see why, because she's still continuing to double down, triple down on I threw him a party.
And that she was the victim in this situation.
She was and that's what it is. It's like, I get people can say sometimes you don't need to address everything, but that's kind of like questioning his character, because he said, she didn't throw this party for me. And you're continuing to laugh. And I went to a friend's party, threw him a party. I believe she said that on purpose. I went to a friend's party, threw him a party, because we know that Tamar, that's how she ends up in these things all the time, right? So I get why Funky addressed it again. Because again, at first you hear it and you're like, but then it was like, oh no, wait. He's breaking it down.
There were bombshells in this new update.
Yes. And I
things that he kept to himself.
And that's
allegedly.
When we go back to his first video, he was like, oh, I'm not going to tell it. I wonder if that's what he was talking about.
He did allude that there was something happening between Tamar and Mendeecees back then.
Yeah.
The other reason why I understood why he addressed the situation was because there were people on social media claiming like he did something, like he was trying to take her out of this world.
People, YouTube titles saying he tried to unalive her. Like, to me, that was so far beyond that. Like, I get why Because at the end of the day, I don't care if he had 5 million subscribers. You know, all the subscribers that you have, it's like, I'm still a human being. And this is my reputation. And I don't want to be involved in none of this. And you're saying I try to unalive a person? Because we know if somebody says something about you, the one person that doesn't like you is going to choose to believe that because they don't like you, not because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And so I felt for him. So when I tell you, you know how they say clench your pearls? I literally was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because
Now,
and the thing is too, people will run with that narrative, and that will be the narrative, and that will stick with you, God,
yes.
for how long. Look at Kandi, still cries about anytime that she makes a post, there will still be people in the comment section that will refer to her as Bill Cosby because of the claims that Phaedra and Portia brought to a reality show. So this is why I also don't run with every single story that comes across my desk. I'm like, wait a second, let me see what the information is.
Yes.
So unless he really is making this up and she can prove that he's making this up and that no one else can corroborate his story, he mentioned they were in public places.
And mentioned people
Roll the tape.
Him. Yeah, so-and-so called me and said this. So-and-so called me and said da-da-da-da-da-da. People were calling me at, like, when I'm looking at Funky and Tamar, as much as they both can be messy, I do feel like people will probably come out and say, Funky's not lying. Da-da-da-da-da. And then I started thinking, Tamar, I know her sister, certain sisters are like salivating.
Who, Tawanda?
Yes.
Tawanda probably the only one that's really like salivating.
You know, Trina, try to be like, oh, well, you know, her and her Canadian accent by way of Baltimore.
What is wrong with Trina? She makes me laugh every once in a while.
She does.
Not when she's not defending her sister, though, or her niece.
And when she's spinning it like she's the victim.
Mm-hmm. And defending dead Gabe.
Yes. And that people acting as if people can't carry trauma, I don't know, into their adulthood from their childhood.
Because she is.
Clearly. And it's been for a while. We didn't forget your issues with substance. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Trina. Like, yeah. Tamar, I want her. At first I thought, okay, is this going to be what officially runs her off the internet? But if she's lawyering up, then a part of me wondering, is she really lawyering up, or did she ask her lawyer to make a statement to see if Funky is going to back off? Because I want to see a law.
And you know, a lot of times that's what these celebrities do. They'll send you a cease and desist to make you afraid. Like Tyler Perry's senior VPs sent me a cease and desist, and I replied, and I said, I'm not ceasing or desisting.
Matter of fact, I'm resisting. And desist. What did Tamar call it? Assist and deceased?
Tamar, no, wait, Tamar called it something?
I think Tamar called it like a assist and deceased.
No, Tamar called it a cease and deceased or something like that.
Oh my God.
On the Braxtons.
The people aren't dead, baby. Well, actually, one of them is, but yeah, Gabe.
Yeah. Let's round this out. For those who are just joining us, I'm here with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. If you missed it, we did talk about the Wendy Osefo of it all. But if you're watching the replay, you can always watch it at the very beginning. One of the other big hot topics happening in reality television right now has to do with Kandi, Burruss, and Todd Tucker's divorce. Yesterday, the news broke that Todd wants primary custody, and he's questioning the enforceability of the prenuptial agreement, which we saw him sign on the Kandi's wedding special. Kandi did not waste any time, is responding. Yesterday, she responded via her attorney, and she says, roll the tape. He was not forced to sign that prenuptial agreement. She also says he's not home as much as I'm not home as well. Sometimes he's with me, sometimes he's on his own, and I pay for the nanny, and all of my family is down there in Atlanta, and they will hold us down.
Todd told Kandi, when you're out and getting work, don't think I'm not. Kandi, when you're out doing work, don't think I'm not.
I used to love that song. I love that album.
Yes. there was a part of me, people call Todd Daddy Daycare.
Did your camera move?
It sure did. I looked up. I said,
I
"Why
was like,
did
you're
you
not in frame
move?
anymore.
Hey, why did you move?" People were calling Todd Daddy Daycare, and I said, "Well," but then somebody on Twitter said, "Daddy Daycare was a scheme that Todd himself set up."
Aunt Bertha really was a fortune teller right there.
Wasn't she? Wasn't she? So there was a part of me when I saw it, I said, okay, if there was a part of me that understood, okay, I don't want my kids, I want them to have a stable home environment. I want them to go to the same school, to not be missing days. And if something happens, I need to be able to make a decision without them saying, well, where's the other parent? Do we have the other parent's consent if something happens like that? So I got what he was saying. But then a part of me was like, but is it for that or is it for the money aspect? Maybe him getting child support, him getting just wanting control over the situation. Maybe he felt like Kandi had a lot of control, and I don't know. It seemed like Kandi deferred to him on a lot of things, but that's only what we saw. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. So was this his way of having some type of control? I didn't want to automatically be like, oh, well, he doesn't deserve the kids, because if Kandi is working a lot, I thought, well, maybe that would work.
look at your camera.
Rude. I have it on a tripod and it decides to move when it wants.
I was like, oh, and I'm slowly but surely you coming out of frame, and I'm just watching it. I'm like,
you better stay right here. Don't be slithering like Wendy. So
she sauntered.
She sauntered with her hand in her pocket. So the issue for me is I don't know his intention, because his intent, it's all in what the intent is. If it's truly in the child's best interest, or if I'm sticking it to you, or want to prove a point, or want to feel in control, or want your money.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if how she's able to document. Well, look at our schedules. He's away doing this and that, because he's also a producer, and sometimes his producing takes him out of Atlanta. Yes, I think a lot of people based off of the show always thought he was at home doing nothing. But no, we see they produce so many different projects. He's here in New York with her a lot of times producing. I believe they have another project that they're producing together here in New York.
Is
but
Anne Juliet with them together, or just
no? Anne Juliet is a play that she'll be acting and she's not producing it.
Okay.
So, but that's going to take up a lot of her time. I believe that starts this month, her run in there until March.
Well, think about Kandi when she was having that issue with her mom, and she was saying, people think Todd doesn't work, but his producing was taking him all over. And she said this in a season, I didn't want him traveling.
I remember that. That was season 6.
So is that going to go to his credit? Like, you yourself said you didn't want me traveling, so I gave all that up to do. So it's like, how is it? I was hoping that it didn't end ugly for them.
Yeah.
And it looks like it just might. You know what? I didn't want Mama Joyce to win. I did not want her to win.
Did you see the picture from Thanksgiving? Mama Joyce smiling?
Yes.
That's the biggest I've ever seen her smile ever.
Yes. And then Kandi came and said Todd was there, but he left early.
Mm-hmm. He left before they decided to take the picture. Kayla was there, though. His daughter was there.
And now that's my thing. How does she, because they're all talking about it, that.
Yeah.
And it's like
I wonder if Kandi will talk about it on Next Gen NYC, because they are filming here in New York.
Right. And Kayla said she did film scenes with her last year, but they didn't show them.
They didn't include it. Well, if they film it with Kandi, they're going to include it.
Okay. Ooh. I was hoping Todd and Kandi, because of everything that was thrown at them, I really wanted them to succeed. But at the end of the day, if it's not right for you, it's not right.
Is it not successful? They were together for 14
That's
years.
True. I
and
won't
2 beautiful babies.
I was going to say, because you know what? It's not a failure. Somebody said that somewhere, and it made sense. The years that you had together, they were good together. Like, even if it was only 5 out of 11, those 5 were still successful. So you're absolutely right. I take that back. To me, it felt like, and again, we're not in their house, but it felt like she really loved him. That's what I got from the screen. Even though I didn't always agree with how she handled her mom and Todd. And did you see Todd's post today to his mom?
Yeah.
And then about his friend. And then there was a part of me, and I hate that reality TV has made me do this, but I was like,
I know. You
Was this?
question everything.
Yeah, was this for a reason? I'm not saying, but at the same time, when you think about it,
Was it
she does.
manipulative?
And
Just
see,
like
Kandi does come with a big support. It doesn't seem like
she
Todd. He may have
does.
his friends, but it doesn't seem like
And are they real support? Are they a real support?
right.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Ugh.
your friends, all you can have a bunch of friends, but they're not like your real support system. One thing we've seen from Candy over the years, not only does she have her family, but she also has her friends that are like
Yes.
her real people. Like they
Yes.
ride for her. And that's a testament to her character. So for
Yes.
me, that always tells me about who she really is as a person.
That's true. Because people can say what they want, but that's the people around you. What they say, your top 5 people make up who you are, like, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
show who you are. So
Yep.
yeah, that's true. That is really true. I just hope that at the end of the day, each party, because you can get caught up in it, remembers the kids. That's
Mm.
what's at stake. Those 2 beautiful, talented children. You know.
Do you have more time? I'll keep
Yeah,
you for like
I'm
another
fine.
few more because I do want to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac
I'm
before we
actually
go.
excited to talk about that again, but not like
Mm.
that because I feel like I want to drag some people, but also, oh, I'm about to throw up. Give some people credit.
Oh. Before you do that, BravoCon, Chanel Ayan did a bang up job over at BravoCon when it comes to the social media, to the point where Bravo is regurgitating a lot of the content that she
Yes.
did with them. But apparently she was on the Humble Brag podcast. Shout out to them. We love them over there. I was on there a few weeks
Yes.
ago. So go check that out if you haven't. I'm going to play for you what Chanel said about some run-ins that she had during BravoCon.
I want the unedited version.
Yeah, oh my God. Who did you not like? Who was not a good like? So there are two people that I thought they were a bit like out. Like I just
Sidebar, you know we like to cite our sources. I'm getting this from our friends over at NoChaser underscore TV on Instagram.
didn't get them. Okay, because I'm a very friendly person. You know what I mean? And I'm very approachable. Kiana from Potomac. I think her name is Kiana. Yeah.
They always get her name wrong. Kay, you're so not memorable. Everyone gets her name wrong.
At all.
Including when you're doing the damn captions. Kiana is Kiarna. Or just Kay.
That's what.
K. I think they call her K.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Face insane. Beautiful. When I said beautiful face, I kept on. The thing is, like, I kept on staring at her and like, but she was
Smiling.
I think she thinks she's Beyonce or some shit. I know for sure, bitch, you're not fucking Beyonce. Smile back when somebody smile.
Only one Beyonce. We can all agree on that.
Exactly. You know, so I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if I know nothing about it. I haven't seen anything she's done that's iconic yet. So I have no clue. I tried, and you know, she was with ISO Grand Dame, right? Because usually I'm with.
Oh, she's talking about Grand Dame. For those that don't know, she's talking about Karen Huger. Karen Huger was at BravoCon.
I love
she calls her Grand Dame. I'm like, oh, okay.
Grand Dame in every panel in BravoCon when she was doing it with us, you know. So I saw Grand Dame and she's so excited to see me. She gives me a hug. We talk, we catch up, and Kiana just stands there, doesn't even say hi. This is the second time or third time. Okay. I was like, bitch, you ain't that shit. Chill the fuck out. Bring some.
It makes me wonder how some of these housewives probably view Chanel because she's not currently on the network. Dubai only had 2 seasons. She's not a Nene. She's not a Cynthia Bailey. She's not a well-known pioneer of Bravo. And I wonder if that, like, these newbies sort of was like, who's that?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh. She was very friendly to me. I'm surprised. So.
Yeah, for me, no, but maybe she's going through stuff. But that's my feeling.
Cynthia said that Kiarna was very friendly to her because it's Cynthia Bailey from RHOA.
Hello, yes.
Okay.
Who else? Yeah, I know your feelings.
Yes, and then
it's my favorite right now.
Yes, I know.
What I discovered from the podcast, Crystal, is messy.
Yes.
I love it though.
Yes.
And my second was
you should have kept her.
The girl from OC, Katie.
Oh, Katie.
Katie, she's so beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like she would I would also try to smile to her, and she was just like full on like this. But she's pretty girl.
But then I understand later on, because I didn't know what was going on with her. I found out that she didn't film half of the season. You know what I mean? They cut her out or something like that.
I wouldn't give her that grace, because
Me neither.
even though they cut you out, everybody in the community, the Bravo universe, has been supportive of her, and it's BravoCon.
Yes.
So I don't understand why you would be any kind of way.
Yes.
If you were Kiarna, I could understand being a kind of way, because
Yeah.
I'm sure the fans probably were like.
Yeah.
But even at BravoCon, even if you're not a well-liked person, unless you're like a Lisa Rinna or Erica Jane getting booed, even then I feel like you're fine at BravoCon.
Yes, because it's BravoCon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of accusatory stuff. So I can now, after that, I could feel like maybe the BravoCon was very overwhelming for her.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because I think her cast isn't really mesh with her. They don't really like her.
Yeah,
really
that
push
makes
her
sense.
out.
Yeah.
But I
didn't
didn't
know.
need grace because
Yeah.
she had a tough season.
Yeah. So
I want the.
I'm not giving her grace. Well,
That's who you
Kiarna,
are as a person.
Kiarna is responding. Apparently, she must have did an Instagram live with your favorite angel. So I want to play her response to Chanel Ayan.
See that real quick. So basically, I seen it today, and I'm like, wow, this is really weird. Because girl, I don't even recall seeing you 3 times. I seen you once. The one time I can recall, I was actually walking on my way to dinner with Karen, so we were in our space together, and she literally sees us walking together, and she made a.
Why the emphasis that you and Karen were walking together in your space together? Again, this is why I believe it's about they don't know who she is, or they don't respect who she is in the Bravo universe. That's the vibe that I got from this.
Yeah.
Clear intention to be like speak strategically to Karen. So she's just like, oh, Karen, she's messing around in a circle, and like, so imagine we're walking together, and imagine somebody separate you walking together. So I was saying, like, just when they engage with one person, I think that's a little bit more of a normal interaction when you see people. But she separated Karen, and she's like talking to Karen, and me being me, I'm like, okay, obviously she with Karen, she wants to hate Karen. Like, okay, girl. So, and then at that point, because you made it clear to not speak to me while we were together, and to separate her to speak to her, then she turns around and was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I spoke, that's cool, hey. And she's like, yeah, and I want to introduce you. She's like, oh, I know who you are. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then they nothing out of it. It walked off. Now she on the internet. It's like, well, I'm acting like I'm Beyonce. It's like, girl, well, maybe you think I'm Beyonce, because if you did, you could just spoke like when you see people carrying.
I knew that was coming.
So very much real energy. And furthermore, she's a host there. So I think what happens to being a gracious host, the hostess with the mostest, and she gave none of that. So that's what I have to say on that. But I guess it's trending to talk about Kiana.
It's trendy to talk about
Baby,
Kiarna?
see, this is what I'm saying. They get beside themselves.
But not too much on that.
Oh, okay. What are your thoughts?
When
Thoughts on that?
When she said maybe she thinks I'm Beyonce, I knew that was coming, because that's what that is the clap back. Like, well, you think I'm whatever. Kiarna's energy is very, I don't even think aggressive it's the word. It's just like, it's not reflective ever. It's never, you know what? Let me think. Maybe, well, you know what? I saw her with Karen, and I didn't think anything of it until I thought something of it. I saw her with Karen. She kind of spoke to Karen first, and I didn't think she was going to speak to me, but then she spoke to me, like, because you're admitting that she did recognize, like, she actually did. She turned around and spoke to you. So it's like she's never reflective of maybe not what her part could have been in it, but maybe, well, how did I translate to this person? Or wait, maybe the situation is how they saw it, and I'm just saying it differently for whatever reason. I do agree with you. They don't value Chanel Ayan because she's not a housewife, because they're too slow. We don't say that anymore. They're not thinking and saying, Bravo has her here. She didn't just show up. So clearly Bravo still sees value in her, which it would behoove you to see value in her.
But even and honestly, it doesn't matter.
That's true. At the end of the day,
you should be nice to everyone.
She's a person, and y'all call this a sisterhood. This is like a sorority, and she's here regardless. Yeah. But Kiarna also responded and said, fun fact. I think she used the word fun fact. I talk to Katie a lot. Katie has helped me. I said, does she realize that's not really helping The two people that Chanel Ayan called out, you're now saying I talked to her a lot. She's helped me. Doesn't do anything to sway me in your favor. But Kiana is not a reflective person. I realize she's a reactive person.
Yeah.
And there's like a little bit of a layer of immaturity about her that I pick up on.
A little bratty.
Yes.
Like this week's episode where she's like, my man, my condo, and I'm like, fix your face. That would have been funny if Stacey said that. Fix your face.
When she said, here comes the other Siamese twin, I said, I was flatlined. I said, Stacey was getting them together. And the fact that we want to talk about Stacey lying since we're on Potomac. Kiana, you told us in the beginning of the season that you had to show Greg better than you could tell him. So you bought your condo, only for us to see in a flashback that Greg said we're working on buying her condo, only for you to tell your mom that he's working on buying your condo, which makes sense why you were so upset with Jazzy, because Jazzy actually threw that out there at the Pimlico races and said you couldn't even get him to buy your condo, and you reacted because he hasn't been able to buy the condo that you said you already bought at the beginning of the season. So are you lying? What else are you lying about?
And all of them have a little bit of lying.
Yes.
Angel, her bestie, the sad duo, the other half of the sad duo, she want to lie to us and tell us that that picture is not edited.
Ma'am, they all are.
And that's fine.
Yes, just say that. You're a beautiful woman. But if you want to edit yourself, because just like Stacey said, sometimes we get carried away. I feel like Stacey got carried away in that picture of her underneath that water. Of her.
Yes, you saw that picture? I was like, talking about edited. I was like, wait a minute. That looked like a whole new face. I'm a new face.
Yeah, Stacey admitted it. And I want to speak to Angel specifically. Angel, if you're watching, you are trying to carry it as if there's mean girl shenanigans towards you. When you were quick, your first meeting with the women, to talk about Stacey's breath with Giselle and say, it smacked me in the face. And then your healing retreat, your serene retreat, you have a bowl of mints to shade Stacey, because even though you didn't say it, you knew one of the other ladies was going to pick up on the bowl of mints. You want to talk about mean girl. I don't think, now I'm going to be very clear. I don't get offended by a lot. I don't think a lot of stuff is mean, because I feel like sometimes you can't dictate how a person responds to you, but let's take that away for a second. I'm dealing with Angel calling mean girl behavior. Her go-to is talking about other women's looks. Snaggletooth, stringy hair, Forrest Whitaker about the eye. That's her go-to. Yeah. So the nerve of you to talk about feeling mean treatment. She also told Wendy this week, you're dismissive, you're this, you're that. Can we rewind when we were at Kiana's and Wendy called her out and said, you're coming at me with different energy than Giselle. What did Angel say? I can. Okay, cool. So then Wendy can be dismissive and not really hear what you're saying based off of the energy that you've been giving her. That's why I can't even respect Angel in this. And she's got so much to say in interviews, so much to say in her confessionals. And it just, you ever have a phone and you plug it up and something's wrong with the charger, so it takes battery life from your phone? You're like, wait, that's Angel and Kiana. They take life away.
Especially when they do the after show together. It's like, oh my gosh.
I'm tired. Today drained me. This segment drained me. So, Angel, for you to call these mean girl shenanigans, I think you were president of the mean girl shenanigans in WAG, which is why two different people reached out to Jazzy and said they had mean girl experiences with you.
Stacey's having a really good season.
So the fact that they're coming at her and she's having a good season, she manifested, and still I rise. I said, I'm gonna start saying, and still I rise.
And still I rise. What did you? Because now people are thinking after seeing Giselle, after Stacey said, thank you for having me, congratulations, and she's exiting, but Wendy and Jazzy are saying, don't leave. Giselle decides to come over. I thought you were leaving and hitting the elevator. What was your reaction to that?
Two things. I thought she was corny, and I thought Jazzy did her job. What Jazzy was doing was actually calling Giselle out. You don't like her, Giselle? Now we need a reason.
Yes.
And Giselle says, things I've heard about her, I have to meditate on. Oh, so you don't have a reason. I said Jazzy did her job in that.
I think Jazzy would have been a better choice as a housewife than Kiarna.
Me too. Even if we didn't agree with or you had your thoughts about her
Exactly.
personal life, she still brings something. When she called Giselle out, I said, "Do it, Jazzy. Say it."
Yeah.
And Giselle had to answer in that moment and say,
Because, like, what's your issue? Because I would be honestly confused as well. Like, you have an issue with Stacey as well? Like,
yes.
what's the issue?
And also, I think this is where I said I'm gonna keep it honest. From the beginning, from her first season, I never really saw it from Monique. But watching her, I feel like I'm getting authenticity from her. Even though up until December last year, she said she wouldn't come back to that toxic show. But things change.
That was a year ago.
They
Not when
started
they
filming.
filmed, though.
They started filming.
She started filming in June.
But I feel authentic.
6 months later.
Yes. I want Monique to, unless, people have different categories of friends. So maybe she classifies Ashley somewhere else. Because the way that Ashley is trying to re-trigger Monique into a reaction, I said that is dangerous. Because when she sat at that table at the end of the episode when they met and said, I don't know if she's going to check Stacey. You're trying to trigger a response out of Monique. That's
not your friend.
That's not your friend. And then here's my question. So who are we going to believe? We don't believe Stacey and we don't believe Chris. So who are we believing?
Cookie.
I'm going to say, I said it in our group chat. I'm going to say on here, Cookie looks like she only sweats from her titties. That's it. She don't sweat.
The way that people are dragging Cookie, I was very kind to Cookie in my recap, but the way the internet is dragging Cookie.
Because it's like, Cookie, you look, it made it, you played yourself because Stacey wasn't scared of you. Stacey moved Giselle out of the way. She moved Giselle.
The Detroit came out in that finger.
But also,
don't be pointing at people, Stacey.
Look, somebody said it was like Whitney and Lisa last season. But also, let's go back. Giselle is behind this too. You invited Cookie for a reason. You thought you were going to get Stacey. And Stacey handled y'all and Cookie got escorted out only for you to turn around and make fun of Cookie. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how these ladies have a history of wanting to ice out. Because another mean girl thing, and again, I'm not saying I think it's mean girl, but when we're talking about Angel in the show, you invited everybody but Wendy and Stacey over to your home to trash to trash Stacey. Giselle said when we trashed Stacey, that's Giselle's MO. It's very reminiscent. They did it with, let's go back to season 5. They did it with Candace in the beginning of that season at Ashley Sip and See, when Monique said Candace needs to be on ice. They all agreed. Then they flipped it when Monique got into the fight with Candace and said, now Candace, I by no means want to be in a room with you. Isolate her, flip her. They were trying to do that to Wendy. Didn't work. The audience kind of was like, nah, we may not see it for Wendy, but I saw it for Wendy. But you know what I mean? At the same time, what you're not doing is cool. And now they're doing it to Stacey. Yeah. But Stacey is winning at every turn.
She's handling them. I'm very, very much impressed.
Me too. Stacey came ready. The way when she was at your live
sidebar,
show,
did you see Halle Berry reposted Stacey meme?
Come on. I said, Stacey, come on. Halle
Andy's gonna mention it because Andy, any correlation to real celebrity, he's like, oh my God.
Yes.
He probably sent her a text. Oh my God, did you see this?
He probably did. Stacey, that done got you 2 more years, boo. Just that alone.
He said he finds her extremely entertaining.
Right. So she's gonna, and I know we talk about all these housewives lied, but I had tweeted like, oh, we're acting as if Stacey lied. I don't know, on somebody's husband. I'm just saying. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, has any of her lies been dangerous to their livelihood? Like, Ashley is so focused on catching Stacey in a lie that it doesn't affect her life in any shape or form.
And it's so irritating to me the way her and Kiarna have jumped on Stacey. Stacey, and let's be clear, technically, do we all think Stacey hired TJ? Yes.
Yeah.
Has it been proven? Do it again.
Yes, she did.
That's
why she unfollowed me.
But has that been? Oh, so she's not gonna come to the next live show in DC?
She probably will still come
She probably will still come and get up on that stage for
and lie to me again.
the way you called her out. I was like, classy. That's classy based. And asked her. And with a person like Stacey, you can't come sideways. You have to come direct because they know how to navigate.
You know those Aries women.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to toot my own horn. I'm loving Stacey. I am loving her clapbacks. I am loving the fact that she can get under Kiarna's skin for no reason. But then I heard, I haven't watched all of the after show, but what have you?
Yeah.
Are Giselle and them kind of throwing shade at Kay? Do you think?
Not necessarily throwing shade. I can't remember the statement, but I think I know what you're talking about. But I think they can't defend the indefensible.
Okay.
When it comes to Kiarna, I can't remember. My recollection. Look, I watched it like 3 times, and right before my live yesterday, and I'm like, I can't remember anything anymore. I removed it from my brain.
Well, I asked that because I feel like Kay is doing. Again, I do think Giselle's a little bit putting this whole thing together. Of course, not her and Ashley, and Kay is kind of like the mouthpiece that Ashley would normally be.
The lapdog.
Yes, and I feel like it's also interesting that Giselle could have left Wendy out to dry and said, no, I said catfish. And then when Kay said to her, no, you didn't. I said, okay, at this point, and now at this point, we know it's just your beef with Wendy. I do wish Stacey had said, I'm not saying nothing until Ashley get up front. Because when Ashley still sat at that table, but then I was like, was Kay crying at the bar or was she just wiping her eyes?
Because she took the napkin and she was just like dabbing her eyes. She probably was crying. She has temper tantrums.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I explain it. Like, her behavior is very much bratty,
and it's not a good, like, it is so not a good look. Like, her and Angel's live, I watched like 3 minutes of it and I was like, I don't even know what I'm watching. And nothing is ever, again, reflective. Nothing is ever like, you know what, maybe I contributed this way, maybe I contributed, because it's interesting how Kay has now moved on from Wendy, and I'm just going to fully concentrate on Stacey.
Yeah, because it wasn't landing. It's still not. Well, according to Kay, from a clip I saw, I don't know if it was from the live or somewhere else. I can't remember all this content. But she said that her and Wendy had, during the season, a lot of, we made up and then we fight again. They made up. Okay. So a lot of that's been edited out. So it does feel like it's just focused on between Kiarna and Stacey.
Okay.
But either way, in my viewpoint of it, they haven't made up and it's still an issue. Again, we don't even know what the real issue is.
Yeah. I'm loving the fact that Wendy is having her best season right now. Like when she said, you're saying no thank you as if we want you here. I was like,
oh. And then she's like, here's another example of you falling flat.
Yes. And then Angel, I said, maybe people process differently. Angel walks over to Bobby and said, I told you I was going to address her. Girl.
I love me some Bobby though. Bobby.
I really need some Bobby. We really need some. He's okay.
And I think people, when I say, I think some people are just like, oh my God, he's beautiful. No, I think it's his energy.
Yes, that's
he's not the best looking guy in the world. He seems like a sweet, gentle giant.
Yeah.
That loves his wife. That makes him even more endearing and attractive.
One thing I've noticed on Potomac, and maybe the other housewives, the housewives where they have their husbands, it's like now it's the husband shtick. He's the one fixing the food. He's the one like how Darius was fixing the food.
Yeah.
And I noticed also with watching these Black franchises and our colloquialisms and this and that, when Wendy came in and said, hey, bro, it's just like a...
Yeah, I liked it. Oh, my God. We were talking about Wendy's fashion stuff. Like this last episode alone, we got so many different looks from Wendy. The short hair, the finger waves, and different dress. And then we got a lighter hair with the curly wave. And then she gave us the bob. I was like, what is happening right now? That's gorgeous.
Finger waves. We got to see her face, and I loved it. Like I said, you've seen her in person. When I was looking at her today, I said she is really stunning.
Yeah.
Like there's something about her.
If that's a permanent filter, send it to me.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I want to know. I want somebody to ask, because Angel says, when Wendy confronted her and said, you have different energy than Giselle, she said, that's because me and Giselle had a conversation. Yeah, because you went to Giselle on some tears because you wanted her. That's manipulative. You went to her on tears. With Wendy, you said,
Immediately
I can
started
have
crying.
it.
She went to the counter and got some paper towel. Immediately started crying. I was like, what's she crying about? Even a heartless Giselle's like, what's she crying about?
Right.
What
And
I
then
do?
only for you to, again, let's go back to before that. It's not like you and Giselle had the conversation right away. You went to Giselle on some tears, but told Wendy, because I can have different energy. So why do you think I owe you anything? And that sometimes is what makes me want to scream when people are like, Wendy's dismissive of her. Can we roll the tape?
And look, we don't see everything, but
yes, yes.
I'm waiting for you guys to prove a point because
too.
right now I'm team Wendy and I'm never team anybody.
When Angel said Wendy acted like she didn't know me, I went back to their first meeting when Wendy gave her a hug and said, it's good to see a familiar face, and hugged her. So I was like, maybe it's me. Like you said, maybe I'm missing a lot of context. I'm actually.
But what about the unedited versions of them on Instagram Live? They're still very much unlikable and not proving a point.
It's not, there is no difference. They're still the same. Like, okay, with Salt Lake City, I'm seated. With Potomac, there is a little bit of excitement to watch now because I'm like, they're giving us, the banter is what I like. They're giving us a little bit of that. But when they're screaming, my life, my business, my things. Girl,
but what about at the end when they had the conversation with Monique and Stacey's like, I don't want Kiana to be there, and she's cussing her all kinds of fake A, B, fraud, this. And I'm like, did she sleep with your man?
That's what, like, where did that come from? Because if that's the case, you've got to think Ashley is one. You've got to think Giselle is one. All the women have lied at some point or not wanted something shown.
And lied about some of the worst things you could ever lie about.
But she's fake. The reality is, Stacey didn't even know you. She met you for one season. If we're hinging it on the TJ thing, please. Like, again, Kay, what have you lied about?
They pulled so many things. First it was the TJ of it all.
Yes.
Then it was the Shio of it all. Then it was the Timo of it all. Now it's this who told Chris of it all. What?
Yeah. And if they want to, like, to me, the way Wendy addressed Stacey about the edible thing, it's over. Wendy already addressed it. It's over. I hope Eddie does. What was the line, the strain he said he was going to do? Copycat?
Oh, yeah, copycat.
I wonder if he'll do that. But once Wendy addressed it,
you need to do the insurance fraud strain.
Fraudulent.
Sorry.
Perpetrating a fraud. That's going to be it. What did you think? I felt like Monique was warning Stacey about the dynamics when she said, well, you know what? Never mind. I thought that, but then she did mention Chris at the end when she said, I want you to be careful with that. I'm like, was it just Chris or was it all of this? Like, Monique is wiser now. And yeah, Ashley's my friend, but I know how she can be, but be careful.
I appreciate that Monique is not falling for the okie doke.
Yes. And speaking of Monique, I meant to address this. Why did Wendy have to tell Monique, oh, by the way, Sharice called Chris? Why didn't Kay and Ashley say that?
Yeah, they conveniently left that out of the story.
Yeah. So I was loving Ashley in that role of, not Ashley, Wendy. And oh yeah, she said that she didn't even call her Kay. She did not want to have the conversation in front of Kiana. It was very much like.
So look, you're right. I feel like RHOP, although not a perfect season, I definitely am engaged in the season.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah. I'm definitely engaged. It's not a terrible scene. I still enjoy talking about it with the community. For those that are just joining us, I'm here with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. Make sure you're following her here on Instagram, but also follow her podcast, follow her YouTube channel. We are about to get the band back together this month. So our friend, the Brooke, Ashley, and Taria will be on my YouTube channel. If you're new here and you're not following me on YouTube, be sure to follow me, especially those watching the replay. Kempire on YouTube. And they will be back on the channel to talk everything RHOP and, the things that are currently going on in RHOA as well. Are you excited for the new season of RHOA?
Oh, this is hard. I'll be watching when it comes on.
That's how I feel, because I get that question. Are you excited? I'm like, I'm not excited. That might be too much. Yeah. That might be an exaggeration.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what K Michelle is going to bring.
me too.
And you just never know. We might be pleasantly surprised
That's
by,
what I'm hoping.
you know.
I know we're getting ready to get off, but can I ask you this since you brought up RHOA? Do you believe in Britt Eadie's lawsuit when she said she was told that Kenya was going to be back for season 17?
I don't know if I believe that because Brittany is not a reliable source. However, I was the one to say that if you think that Kenya's coming back and this lawsuit is looming, it's not going to happen. And you see,
Yes.
she didn't come back.
That's
And
what
even
I,
when the executive was asked about her possibly coming back, she was like, well, you never know in the future. They can't say anything right now because they're in
yes,
litigation, and that's an accusation in the actual lawsuit.
yes,
So any questions about her possibly coming, you're going to hear them say, you just never know in the future,
yeah.
possibly. So
When
I
it,
don't know if it probably was conversation. Maybe someone may have said it like, oh, she might come back or something like that. But
yeah.
if there's no contract, she can't prove that.
Yes, that's true. Because when Britt Eadie sent a notice or intent to sue, I
Mm-hmm.
immediately thought, I think they're gonna like not have Kenya back, just and thinking it would go away.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that any of it has merit and that she may get
Oh, we
somewhere?
talked about when they initially when she did the threat to sue. I said, well, she kind of has a case because I feel like Bravo dropped the ball on how they handled the whole situation from the beginning when she was threatening whips and pistols and things like that. They dropped the ball from
Yeah.
then. So
And my
sorry,
thought was,
Bravo.
she's saying it's not me, but the cast reacted like it was her. So is she saying that there was an AI image of her? And that's why she's saying that's not me. Like she's not saying there was an AI image of me. She's saying, because at first I was confused, like you're saying that's not you. The cast was sure it was you. So clearly it had to be something that looked like you. So I said, I would hate to think that Kenya did an AI image, but maybe it was sent
I
to
don't think she
her.
did an AI image. She probably got an image that possibly looked like maybe Britt Eadie's old face. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But regardless, I will never defend Kenya's choice in doing that at her business, at her
Yeah.
opening, messing up your good paying job. Like that's an
Yes.
amateur mistake. And it's so
Yes.
unfortunate. And this is a very good check for her, or probably her biggest, not probably her biggest check.
Mhm.
And you messed that up. And because of this litigation, you messed that up for this woman. And because of the litigation, this might keep you off of Bravo for a few years.
And
Oh,
not only that, like the woman is not even on Bravo anymore. Like,
well, you could have came back. They would have gotten rid of her, and you could have came back.
yeah, when I think about and me not never even being the biggest fan of Kenya, it's one of those you don't miss it until it's gone. But I was starting to kind of warm, like warm,
Because
maybe
she was in a
not
different
warm.
space. She was
Yes,
very different than how she was in like season 5 or season 6.
yeah. Hold on to your weaves, ladies, when she was driving that. But yes, so I feel like I was looking at Britt's case, and if she's saying some of her things when she was like, I asked them to let me see the picture, they said no, I had to play
Yeah.
this out on TV. I was like, that she raises some good points.
So I could see them ending up possibly settling, but I think she signs a contract with a arbitration agreement within it, very much like
Okay.
Nene did. So they'll
Uh,
have to go into mediation. I haven't seen her contract. I'm assuming they continue with the arbitration agreements, but you just never know. But I
mm,
could see them possibly settling this. The quicker they settle this, the bigger the possibility of Kenya coming back.
okay. Oh, okay. So you think there's a chance once they settle, people they'll bring Kenya back? Okay, got it.
I mean, I've talked about this before. I feel like Kenya really just gave them what they wanted for a long
Yeah.
time.
I feel like I was thinking that when they said that they weren't doing an investigation, I said I think they were just figuring out a way to.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean I believe that Andy doesn't love Kenya, but Andy's not Andy's just the person you guys know. You
Figurehead.
don't know all the other suits that look worse than he does.
Yep.
Then there's that. Are you drinking Henny? Is it Taria Henny over here? Is that some brown juice?
That was a little bit of Moscato.
Oh, she's getting lit
Just a little
here.
bit.
Well, Taria Faison, I appreciate you taking up an hour and 40 something minutes of your time for this special Instagram live. Shout out to those of you that joined us here. I know we could not see your comments. You probably were calling us all kinds of whatnot. And I'm glad I didn't see it. But if you're watching the replay of this, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share your comments. I am going to upload the audio eventually to the podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Kempire podcast. Don't forget to follow Taria Faison's podcast, What Else Is Going on all socials, because she will be the journalist covering this Carroll County case involving Eddie and Wendy Osefo. So make sure you're following her and follow her YouTube channel as well. Everything is What Else Is Going on. They can find all that stuff in your
Yes.
profile.
Yep, all of it in my profile. And the last comment that I saw was Miss Parker saying, "Hey, Kempire and Taria." And I've been wanting to say, "Hey, Miss Parker."
And the last comment I see is Stay W that said arrogance. They were talking, I think they were talking about Wendy.
No, I was going to say, is that us or Wendy?
No, they were talking about Wendy, because I remember when it, and that was the last comment I saw. So sorry to
That's
those
funny.
of you. This is the second time I've gone live and it happened. I don't think it's me. It has to be Instagram.
Instagram is racist.
Oh!
Wait, Dr. Heavenly, I take it back. I said it, I take it back.
You need to send her that slogan. That's what you need to do.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, Dr. Heavenly, I have a slogan for you. Come on the podcast. Then I'd have to tell her you're the reason I didn't really watch last season. But I mean, hey, I think she could take
That would be an interesting conversation.
It actually would be. And I would say, as a Black woman, what would
She'll do it.
What would your appeal be to me to vote for you when I see you, when I don't see you as a sister?
Do it. I think you should. That'd be a really interesting conversation.
Okay, I'm open. All right, I'm gonna do it. And especially, she went to my family's from Tallahassee. I got people that used to teach there, people that still work there. My family. She probably knows the food place that my people used to own right off the FAMU campus. I met somebody and she was like, "Those are your people." I went to college 119. When I came home for winter break, she was 150 because they owned a food. Restaurant. They called it the Chicken House. Yep. So if any of y'all are from Florida and know about the Chicken House, let me know.
Yeah. They've tried to have me interview Heavenly for a while now. I haven't done it, but I did think about it after seeing some of her recent interviews, because I feel like some people do not challenge her on some of the things that she said. But I'll have you do it, and then I'll report back.
So you're just gonna set me up? Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it's gonna be called From Black Woman to Black Woman.
Right.
Let's get into the things.
She'll do it. I know she'll do it.
Preach it? Are you, be honest, are you preaching it, but you got to get this check? Is that just a part of who Heavenly is? Like
what is your platform? Walk us through your platform.
Yeah, and why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
Is it because you didn't have windows?
That's her new thing right now. She keeps talking about I was the child with no windows. I'm like, okay, she's doing her own work.
She's doing it.
Like, to the point, I'm falling for it.
That's me too. I'm telling you, when I heard her on Candace's podcast, I was like, okay.
Yep.
But
do you miss Candace? Before I let you go, do you miss Candace?
I do. You know why? Because she's the only one that could get in the middle of Ashley talking, and Candace would say something to her, and she would go. She's the only one that could get Ashley together.
And she's smart. And the thing is, I feel like next season, Wendy's going to need some more people behind her.
What I like that Monique is taking accountability. However, when we saw a clip of her telling Giselle next week, "This is the only piece that I have left," there's one more piece. If her and Candace had to sit down, because people think that Candace is not open to it. On her podcast, Candace said, now, yes, she did call the lady bird killer, but Candace said, I heard that bird killer has apologized.
She's lethal.
Yes. I heard that bird killer has apologized to everyone but me. And I'm like, you know my number, or you can get my number. And that let me know she's still hurt.
Open.
And she's masking it with anger because it's easier to deal with hurt. That's
the conversation I would rather see than Giselle and Monique.
Me too. And it's very much easier for me to deal with anger with you than to expose that I'm still hurt. So that's the conversation that I would want to see. And then I would want them to come together. And
they used to be close. I don't know how close off camera, but I believe their friendship more than Candace and Wendy.
Her kids, she said I was around her kids a lot. Like they were close. And I would want them to get together and run circles around Ashley if she's still going to be here.
No, I don't need her to be here anymore.
No, me neither. But yeah, I think if Ashley, if Monique and Candace have that conversation, I think the audience would even move on from season 5.
Right? Because the audience needs to heal.
Yeah. that sounds crazy, but it's so true.
And it's true. I've been saying it during my recaps every time this conversation comes up, and how I feel like Bravo dropped the ball when it comes to the conversation on colorism. I was like, you guys are going to continue to have this problem because you did not allow the audience to move on. You think that by having these little sit downs with Giselle is healing the audience. It's not.
It's not. Okay, I know we're going, but I promise you, last question in 3 seconds. Is there a housewife that there's some that you want to, and I'm going to use like for lack of a better term, because like you say, we don't know these people. Is there a housewife that you want to like, but you just can't? Because for me, I've never cared for Monique, but watching her now, it's like, I want to like
her.
But it's like, I have to get it. So do you have a housewife that you can think of that you want to like, or a Bravo celebrity, period?
That I want to like, but
there's something that's kind of like,
both.
Okay. That's a good one.
I want to like her, but I cringe every time.
Okay, that's a good one.
I cringe. Oh, I want to like her. Oh, that gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I just saw it. I was going to say, I just saw it come over you.
I just also saw the little preview for the after show for Beverly Hills. Like, I want to like her, but then she's like this to Dorit, and then Dorit puts on her black scent, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I just saw the cringe come over your body when you said, oh. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate the folks that stayed around, but if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to like this video, be sure to share this video, be sure to follow us, follow me, follow Taria Faison, and follow her on her YouTube, her podcast, and Twitter as well.
Yes.
Because she will be the boots on the ground and reporting back on her pages, and of course back here on our channels to talk about Wendy and Eddie Osefo's insurance fraud criminal trial. We talked about a lot, so weigh in below. Thank you, Taria. Have a good night. I'm gonna go eat.
I'm probably gonna text you later anyway.
And I'm gonna tell Corey. Bye.
Bye. Bye.